Assalamu alaikum everyone, this is Sheikh Bilal Haq, faculty member of Anis Hussein's Excellence in Education for Accounting and Economics. So in today's video, I'll be discussing about the most common questions that any university, any business school will be asking you in your interviews in regard with accounting. So the first and the most easiest one is how many types of or how many components of financial statements do we have? The first and the foremost component of financial statement is there are basically 5 components of financial statement. The first one is the income statement. The second one is the statement of financial position. Third one is the statement of cash flows. Fourth one is the changes in equity, statement of changes in equity, and the fifth one is the notes to the accounts. So these are the 5 different components that the public limited, let's suppose a public limited company or any other company which is preparing an account usually draft while, let's suppose, at the end of the year. So this is the first question. Second question that goes is, what do you mean by accounting equation, or how do we classify accounting equation? So the most common example of accounting, or the most prominent part of the accounting equation, is asset minus liability is equal to owner equity, on the basis of which the statement of financial position is also being drafted. That is, the balance sheet is being drafted on the basis of this accounting equation. Now the third question that I am coming towards is, what is the difference between a real account and nominal account? Real account are moreover concerned with the assets and liabilities. For example, if you are buying something which is for, let's suppose, for the asset purpose, which classifies the definition of being an asset, or if you owe an amount of money to someone, which classifies the definition of liability, so they are regarded as the real account. On the other hand, what do you mean by nominal account? So nominal account is concerned with the income and the expenditure. So moving forward, if we, let's suppose, talk about the interviewer may also ask you, what do you mean by the working capital? Now working capital is the most easiest one, and normally the students don't make mistake in answering this question. Working capital means the difference between the current asset and the current liability. Now a connected question, and the most trickiest one in regard with, let's suppose, the working capital or the component of the financial statement is, let's suppose the interviewer might ask you that if the interviewer is purely, let's suppose, accounting or finance background, he may go for this question, which is a tricky one. Let's suppose if you have only one statement available for a particular company and you need to identify the entire situation of that company, or you need to evaluate that company, so which one statement would it be? Now this is the most trickiest question. Which one statement would it be? It will be the cash flow statement, or the statement of cash flow, which is also the component of financial statement. So statement of cash flows. Sir, स्टेटमेंट ऑफ कैश फ्लोज में ऐसी क्या चीज़ें होती हैं जो इंटायर कंपनी की पूरी सिचुएशन को एवेल्युएट कर देगा? स्टेटमेंट ऑफ कैश फ्लो बनाने के कितने मेथड्स हैं? अब मे बी इस तरह के कुछ क्वेश्चंस आपसे पूछा जाए. सो स्टेटमेंट ऑफ कैश फ्लो इज कंसर्न विद द कैश इनकमिंग एंड आउटफ्लोज, दैट इज कैश इनफ्लोज एंड आउटफ्लो. कैश फ्लो स्टेटमेंट is being divided into 3 different categories or 3 different components, that is from operating activity, investing activity, and financing activity. So where are you getting the finance from? Where are you investing the amount of money? And what the day-to-day operational amount of money is being invested, or what are the differences? Okay, so another question which is related to the statement of cash flow is, how many methods to draft the statement of cash flow? So there are basically 2 methods. First one is the direct method, and the second one is the indirect method. Let's suppose now if I move towards another question, that is question number 4. He may also ask you, why do we make the bank reconciliation statement? Why is it necessary to make the bank reconciliation statement? So your answer would be that normally the bank reconciliation statement is a replica of the cash book. See, there are 2 different things. Cash book is a book which is being prepared by the organization itself, and the bank statement that we get at the end of the month, normally now generally we get the bank statement in the form of a soft copy through your email addresses or through your email. Okay, so the bank statement that you are getting and the cash book that you are drafting, these are 2 different statements. At the end of the day, there might be some timing differences, or there may be some errors. There may be some timing differences, or there may be some errors. For example, let me give you an example of timing differences. Let's suppose I gave a particular check of rupees 30,000 to Mr. X, and I recorded the check in my cash book, that is in my statement of cash book. But that particular person, that is Mr. X, he then took the check to the bank. So that check will not be notified in the bank statement. However, I have recorded the check into my cash book. So there are, why do we make bank reconciliation statement? The most obvious answer is because there are two types of differences that we normally get in the bank statement and in the cash book that we are preparing internally. Those two types of differences are, there may be some errors. For example, I had to record in my cash book a sales of rupees 50,000, but I recorded, I emitted 10 and I recorded it as 5,000. So that may be a problem, that may be an error. And on the other hand, there may be timing differences that I have told you or that I have notified. So this is the reason why do we prepare bank statement. Now another connected question, as I have discussed about errors, so there is another connected question that the interview may ask you, that is, how many types of errors do we have? How many types of errors do we have? Generally, while preparing the accounting or while preparing the double entry system, or while making the double entry system, or while making the books of prime entries, that is books of prime entries, and you may also be asked, what do you mean by books of prime entries? So the books of prime entries are those books that are being initially made. And how many books of prime entries do we have? We have got sales day book, purchase day book, sales return day book, purchase return day book, cash book, and general journal, and petty cash book as well. So there are many books of prime entries. You may be asked, what do you mean by books of prime entries? So the first entry that is being recorded in the books of prime entry. So okay, so what we were discussing, or what interview may ask you for another question, is that generally how many types of error do we have? We have got two different types of error. That is the errors that are affecting the trial balances and the errors that are not affecting the trial balances. Now, if we have got an error which is not affecting the trial balance, those errors will not be identified from the trial balances. Now the interview may ask you, then how will you identify those errors? For identifying those errors, you need to go towards the source document. So what do you mean by source document? Source documents are the invoices or the transactions that took place. So let's suppose I had to make a debit and a credit entry with 10,000 rupees, but I made it with 1,000 rupees. So on the debit side, I wrote 1,000. On the credit side, I wrote 1,000. Wrongly or mistakenly, the trial balance, or unfortunately, the trial balance basically balances. So those errors that are not identified from the trial balances are known as the errors not affecting trial balance. And there may be errors who are affecting trial balance. For example, I had to write 5,000 in my debit and 5,000 in my credit. I wrote 5,000 in my credit, but I wrote 500 in my debit. This means my credit side will be greater than the debit side. So those errors will be identified from my trial balances. Now, moving forward, let's suppose there are many other questions. We have discussed about working capital, we have discussed about cash flows. There are two methods of preparing cash flows, that is direct method and indirect method. So statement of financial position, income statement, statement of cash flow. I'm repeating the questions that I have discussed, and I'm letting you guys know what are the most common part that may be asked in your interview. The financial statement component is the basic components are the statement of financial position, income statement, statement of cash flow, statement of changes in equity, notes to the account. Okay, now there may be a question which is moreover related to the generic point of view of why do we prepare financial statement? Why do we prepare financial statement? So your answer would be actually this could be the first question that would be asked from you guys while taking an interview, while an accountant is taking an, or a finance individual is taking an interview from you guys. Why do we prepare financial statement? So in order to satisfy the wider perspective of stakeholders, you normally prepare financial statement. And secondly, if you're a public limited company or a public interest company, then you have to prepare these financial statement because it's a legal requirement. So in order to fulfill the legal requirement and in order to fulfill the fiduciary duty of, let's suppose, the stakeholders, for the stakeholders, we have to prepare these financial statements. So these financial statements are prepared for let's suppose satisfying the stakeholders as well as the current economy or the legal requirement. Plus, you may also be asked, okay, so why are you choosing finance, or why are you choosing accounting as your major, or why are you going for the BS in accounting finance? Okay, so let me give you an overview as well in regard with why should you go for BSc in accounting and finance, or why are you opting for BSc in accounting. BSc in accounting and finance has given you a wider horizon of getting into many other degrees, because currently IB and many other universities, they have signed an MOU from with different let's suppose foreign qualification, that is ACCA as well as chartered accountancy. If you are going for BS in accounting finance, you get exemptions in ACCA as well as in chartered accountancy. So if you, let's suppose if the interviewer is asking you why BS in accounting finance, so you can give a clear-cut answer that okay, I have an inclination to go for finance. I want to be the CFO or finance head or the finance director of a company or the audit manager of the company, and after completing my BSc or masters, I'll be going for ACCA or CA, that is chartered accountancy, in order to fulfill my desire of becoming the CFO or having that signing power of becoming the partner of a particular firm. I hope so. I have discussed each and every question in regard with accounting. If you need any further queries, you can inbox me. Thank you.